Hi everybody, this is Rachel for Cybersports Network. I'm here with FourCourtJester. He's currently casting the League of Legends tournament that is going on here at MLG in Raleigh in the middle of this hurricane. But sir, why don't you introduce yourself to all these fine people?
Yep, sure. I'm the FourCourtJester. I do MOBA casting, so Heroes of New Earth, League of Legends, done some StarCraft too. There's a lot of competition in that arena. Gave it up pretty quick. But, you know, Bloodline Champions, I got some fingers in closed beta pies coming up. But, yeah, I mean, the MOBA is just a very exciting genre, very growing genre, so there's probably going to be a lot more jesters popping up in and around the place. I'm just happy I got here first.
Well, MOBA is kind of a new genre. We did have Dota, the original Dota, but that wasn't quite called a MOBA. And before that, really, what did we have but other mods? So how did you get your start in gaming? Was it with Dota or was it before then?
Well, for casting, I got into it with Heroes of New Earth because during my university years, did a lot of Diablo, a lot of WoW, then a lot of Dota itself. And it's like, wow, Dota is getting its own clients called Heroes of New Earth. They're sure a little bit different, but hey, that looks really fun. So I got into that, and then Honcast was up there. They were like the premier guys at the time. I'm like, wow, that sounds really cool. I think I can do that. And well, you know, a year later, here I am, MLG. Not quite for Heroes of New Earth, but League of Legends, same kind of idea though. So I can bring a lot of experience to that, like Dota, Hon, LoL, and yeah, as I said, there's some other closed betas. Some people are trying to do some different stuff, so get a lot of perspective. You can bring that to the different games, and I think that's actually very useful to diversify, try those other games, see what they're doing. But yeah, it's an expanding, ever expanding, like Dota 2 on the horizon, tons of money in that, and it's going to be epic.
So you got your start with actual casting with Heroes of New Earth, and you put out, I guess, your own YouTube videos, and that's how Honcast found you?
Well, no. Honcast and I were kind of like a little bit of our rivals, but I was a small guy. Like, I work full-time, got a wife, I can't quite put as much time into this stuff as they do. They were also backed up by S2 Games. But, you know, my YouTube channel kind of limped along for a little bit, got some big bursts, did some work with game replays. I actually did some work with Cybersports Network, you know. Yeah, these guys, yeah. I did that last year and for their one Hon tournament, and so, you know, I did get some coverage, and then League of Legends came out, so I, you know, worked with National ESL, and wow, did that balloon the channel, just skyrocketed right off. There's a lot of League of Legends gamers out there, and, you know, as I say, rest is history, here I am.
Well, you're talking about how important it is to have a diversity when you cast and a diversity of experience in these different games. So you play them all. I know. I've played with you in League of Legends,
yep.
But out of all these MOBA games, which is the one you most enjoy playing?
Well, if I can get, you know, a good group of friends together, I would love to just knock out Heroes of New Earth all night. But if I can't do that, I will gladly hop on over to League of Legends, get a nice group of 5, hell, even get a group of 10, just do in-houses, everyone's on Skype, great recording material, just have a great fun time. I mean, you can't take this super competitively unless you're going to be aiming for that competitive tier. And, well, really, I'm going to be honest, I'm not that good to get to that competitive tier. So I like to have fun, I like to hang out with the fans. Just people are amazing to hang out with sometimes. And sometimes just like, hey, oh, wow, you're a big shot in some company. Hey, you want to do it in a tournament? And that's how the networking all works. I mean, like, met you online, and wow, now you're interviewing me. That's quite the transition, you know?
Well, it's funny how it works out that way, but as a member of the community, you're kind of out there, and you're visible, and you come to represent at least a little portion of each of these communities. So as a member and as someone who, I guess, has a lot of interaction with the community at large, which is your favorite? Do you enjoy the League of Legends community, maybe this Dota community that's coming up to support, or your Han friends?
Well, can't really vouch too much for the Dota community. I don't speak Chinese, so unfortunately I really don't know what they're saying. But in terms of, you know, the communities, there's always a lot of stigma of negativity attached, you know, trolling, the infested pits, always complaining. But I do overall think that the League of Legends community has a slight edge over the Heroes of New Earth community. They especially just went free to play, and that brought a lot of rage to the forum. So I try to steer clear of that right now. I definitely, you know, with Tribunal in place as well, League of Legends are cleaning up their act. They're trying to get self-policing going on. Hopefully it'll be a positive impact, but yeah, I definitely like to hang out a little bit more in League of Legends these days.
Do you have any idea which one may be the most successful as an esport, having seen a lot of them grow and having been a part of a lot of their tournaments?
Well, I mean, here we are at MLG, and we kind of are suffering a little bit with the spec UI. It's not public, it is all internal, and after 2 years, they're still working on an internal spec UI. So they're programming a little less solid. Heroes of New Earth, Dota 2, even like Rise of Immortals and Realm of the Titans, they already all have working spec UIs right out of the box. So in terms of programming, I think they're a little bit more solid than the League of Legends, but League of Legends, as you saw, it ballooned to over 15 million accounts, and that's superior marketing right there. So if League of Legends can bring up their programming a little bit to match that awesome level of marketing, I think we're going to have a really good product in our hands.
That sounds awesome. We do hope League of Legends has a long and successful future with MLG. Do you have any idea of what your future of MLG would be? Or actually, you got here kind of in an interesting way. I know MLG just sort of cast the hook into the water to see what they would get. How did you come to be the caster alongside my dear buddy Rivington?
Rivington's an awesome guy. I'm really glad I got the chance to meet both him and you. And Whitwick's behind there. It's really awesome to see all the fans come out here. But as it happened, just at work one day, looking at my Twitter, and Nexi MLG, the guy that's producing the stream, he's just like, guys, I need to know, who's your favorite League of Legends caster other than the Rioters? So I'm thinking, okay, obviously he's asking this for a reason. I asked Twitter, I asked YouTube, I'm like, guys, let this guy know who your favorite is. And of course, I'm trying to convince him I'm their favorite. And I don't know, he got bombarded 20, 30 people in a few minutes. He sends me an email, it's like, all right, send me your stuff. So I'm like, my stuff is kind of old. So I just did some live casting right there. And he said, wow, that's really good. And well, he just sent me next day. He's like, all right, we're going to get you up there. We're going to fight for you. We're going to get you up there, Rivington. I was like, yes, I love Rivington, because he's obviously a very accomplished caster. He's obviously, before League of Legends as well. He has a lot of connections, and he's just a really cool guy to hang out with. And here I am. So yeah, it's just blind luck. But my Twitter and YouTube followers, they did support me, and without their help, I wouldn't be here.
Right. Well, it never hurts to have followers and supporters, especially when they get you into positions like that. If a couple more of these people want to jump on board, where can they find your stuff?
Well, I am on Twitter, just FourCourtJester, all just one word, no numbers, no acronyms, nothing. FourCourtJester. You can find me on YouTube, same idea. Hell, you can even find me on Facebook, same idea. But I don't really use the Facebook. I don't know why. Something just rubs me the wrong way. But yeah, Twitter, YouTube, no problem. You join the hordes, and just come out and enjoy yourself. That's what we do. I aim to entertain. You want education? Go watch Day 9, because he's probably much better at it than I am. But I aim to entertain.
All right, well, you've certainly entertained me. Thank you so much for talking to us, and best of luck for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, thank you.